What's up, guys? I've never actually made a full walk around video and explain exactly what Casper is, what the F100 is that I built. So I figured I would take a ride down here by the water and show you exactly what this truck is all about. If you're interested in building one, if you're interested in knowing what I did, whatever. I figured I would just make a little walk around video real quick of what it is that I did, what it is that I used, the parts that I used, the things that I used, the way that I did it. And if you're interested in doing one, you can take something from me and a couple other people in the community. There's some really beautiful trucks. I don't think mine is the nicest. I don't claim mine to be the nicest, but it is what I built. And if you like it, I really appreciate that. Give the video a like, subscribe. I'm going to try and post as much as I can. I'm new to YouTube, so just take it easy on me. But I'll walk around the truck and I'll just show you exactly what it is that I did. So first things first, this is a 1971 F100 custom. I bought this truck from a gentleman down in South Carolina that it was found in. It's originally from North Carolina, and I ended up buying the truck for $700. It had some major rot on the bottom of the doors. The bed was killed. The bed was barely hanging on the truck. The motor was beat. Inner fenders were rotted. Radiator support was rotted. Floors were rotted. Cab corners were rotted. Everything was rotted on the truck. But I'll show you what I actually did. So the first thing I did on the truck when I got it in the shop was I repaired some of the rot. The truck does have door bottoms on it that I fixed. They're kind of just overlays. The truck was really rough when I first got it, so I just tried to piece it together to make it something cool because I didn't want to see the thing get junked. But so I put door bottoms on it, I put cab corners on it. The hood on the truck is another hood that I had. It's actually just spray bombed to the closest of the Wimbledon white that the truck was from factory. I mean, it's all faded and it's yellowed and it's white, and a couple different spots on it are different shades, but that's what made the truck cool. That's what I liked about it. So after I did the door bottoms and the cab corners, I ended up pulling the whole K-member out of the truck and the rear out of the truck. And the truck is on an Outcast AutoWorks 4-link kit. It's all 4-link. And coil over. It's got Viking rear coilovers, double adjustable. If I can get my camera to focus. With 200-pound springs in the back, an 8.8 rear out of a 2000 Ford Explorer with a diff brace cover, factory Ford Explorer rear sway bar that I mounted to the chassis, a fuel tank relocation kit from National Parts Depot, which was really cool. It's all 4-link and coilover. It rides beautiful. All the 4-link brackets that Outcast makes and Kyle makes are beautiful. Everything bolts on beautiful. Everything fits beautiful. So the truck is all 4-link and coilover in the back. And up front, it is a Crown Vic K-member, a 2005 Crown Vic K-member in the truck. And I put the K-member in myself in my shop. I welded some boxes in that I bought off eBay. They were cheap. They were like 70 or 80 bucks, and I just finish welded them and welded them into the chassis. You can see it on both sides. And I bolted the Crown Vic K-member in. The motor is a Ford 289 that I got off a friend of mine. It's a 10-to-1 motor, solid roller cam. It's got an original 1970s Shelby intake manifold on it, which is cool. The heads are all ported. It's got bigger valves in it. The intakes port match to the heads. The heads are milled. It's got a 10-to-1 pop-up piston in it with factory 289 rods and factory 289 crank. So I would say it probably makes about 400, maybe a little more. It does have a billet 650 carburetor on it with a, I want to say it's a 1.5 inch Wilson spacer. It's got a big Aeromotive fuel log on the truck. Bob Oliver built me the carburetor from CNC Carburetors. Bob is a tremendous guy. He's a great guy. He knows exactly what you're trying to do. He knows every information of what you're trying to do. So if you're in the need of a good carburetor, a good driving carburetor, I know a lot of people are afraid of carburetors with fuel injection and stuff today, but call Bob if you need anything. He doesn't pay me to say this or anything, but Bob's a great guy. He helped me a ton. Thank you, Bob. But I put all brand new alternator. I put all the CVF pulleys on the truck with the alternator pulley, power steering pump, crank pulley, water pump. It's all V-belt. Super nice stuff, super easy to use, super easy to work with. Everything bolts up, everything fits. I made some power steering lines myself. One's a high pressure line, one's the return line. It's super simple. It has Outcast AutoWorks motor mounts in it from Kyle. The steering shaft I made myself with some universal joints. I'm going to list these on my website. So if you're in the need of adapting your factory 67 to 72 Ford steering column to a Crown Vic K-member, I'm going to make these steering shafts with the 2 universal joints and the 3/4 DD shaft in the center. I'm going to list them on my website that you can purchase. I'll link that below. The truck does have a power brake booster and a master cylinder in the truck for all disc brakes, for the Crown Vic disc brakes up front. It's got all drilled and slotted rotors on it, front and back. Factory sway bar in the front of the truck is all hooked up. Down low down there, if you can see it. The glare is really bad, so if the video doesn't come out good, then it's my fault. But I have a big Champion 2.5 inch radiator in it with an electric fan, overflow, some radiator hoses that I made work. I went to Napa and got some radiator hoses to work. It does have a T5 transmission in the truck out of a 90 Fox body my buddy Pete gave me. You can see it down there. T5 tranny. The truck is on a factory bell housing. This truck came factory with a 300 straight 6, and I used the factory bell housing with a modern driveline adapter plate. If you can see the adapter plate right there on top of in front of the transmission, that is a modern driveline T5 adapter plate that I put on the truck. And so it's factory bell housing from the original 300 that this truck came with, which I thought was really cool. The truck is still factory Z-bar for the clutch pedal. That is all mechanical. It is an all mechanical clutch on the 289. So the truck is super old school. There's nothing flashy and gashy about the truck besides the K-member and the 4-link. But it is all factory Z-bar clutch pedal, factory bell housing with an adapter plate. I wanted to try and keep the truck as old as I possibly could as far as what it came factory. I wanted to drive a factory F100 when I first bought this, and it kind of got a little out of hand with the 4-link and the Crown Vic, but I wanted to keep the factory clutch pedal for now on the 289. It's an old school motor. I wanted the truck to be something that maybe somebody built in the 70s, you know, with the 289s that were running around, that were all rampant. They were easy to get, easy parts to find. So I wanted to build something that was similar to what somebody might have built in the 1970s. And I think I did a pretty good job on that with the factory Z-bar clutch pedal. It's not hydraulic. The 289 motor, it's all steel head motor, all ported heads. Something that somebody would have built in their garage is what I wanted. The bed on the truck was killed. I ended up welding in some patch panels up front. I had to weld in a whole new piece of the front bed just to give it some support. I had to cut some of the original flooring out, but re-welded it. I mean, the truck is factory. The patina on the truck is all there, so it kind of fit after it rusted a little while. I have this piece of 040 aluminum that I just bent and ran through my bead roller, and I covered. This is a huge rot hole in the bed here, and I just cut it squared everything off, and I just covered it with this piece of aluminum, and it's all just in by some aluminum rivets down the sides on both sides. So if I ever need to get to the fuel tank, I don't gotta have to pull the bed off. I was going to change this, but I had to get to the fuel tank last week to change the sender because the fuel gauge stopped working. And this was super simple. I drilled out 5 aluminum rivets with an 1/8 inch drill bit and pulled this whole cover off, and I have full access to the fuel tank that's in the truck. So a lot of people ask me if I'm going to change this or I'm going to do a floor in it. I want to, a part of me wants to, but it's so simple to fix things with the way it is, and it looks kind of cool. So I kind of just leave it. So that's that for now. The battery box in the truck is an old milk box that I have the battery mounted in, and I ran the wires through the bed and down the frame rail. But that is an old insulated milk box. It works great. Insulated, keeps everything dry. The truck has a custom built exhaust that I built on it. It is a 2.5 inch V-band exhaust from the long tube headers back to the bedside exit. It's 2.5 inch V-band on the header to a 2.5 inch stainless X pipe and 2.5 inch Flow Effects Flowmaster mufflers with some 3.5 inch tailpipe section. It's all stainless V-band to stainless bullet Flow Effects mufflers to a 3-inch tailpipe section after the exhaust, and I'll link a picture of this right after I'm done talking and you can see what I'm talking about. But this is a 3-inch section that I welded some tabs on, I welded some hangers on, so I can actually remove this whole tailpipe section from right from that hanger bracket that I have there, that little tab. I can remove this whole tailpipe section if I ever need to pull the exhaust off or pull the bed off and it comes out the bedside. I can just pull this little section right off the truck and pull the bed off, do whatever service I have to do on it. I had some bezels from my race car days that I cut and I split down the center and put some stainless flat Allen head bolts in it and ran the exhaust up the side. It looks awesome. It sounds awesome. It has a total unique sound to it. And I totally love it. But the interior of the truck is pretty basic. I put a plastic cluster in it that I bought offline. I forget where I got it online, but it was pretty cheap, maybe, I don't know, 50 bucks, 60 bucks. It had the pre-drilled 2 1/16 inch holes in it. They're all Autometer cold bolt gauges. It's a factory dash pad. I made a speaker cover for the top, some dimple die holes in it just to cover. There was some cracks underneath of it, so I covered that. The seat in the truck is a 2005 F250 60/40 rear seat out of the back seat, and I wanted to put this in the truck because it had the flip down center console. It gave me cup holders. It was an easy option to do cup holders without trying to mount some ghetto thing off the dash, or I didn't want to drill into the dash or anything like that, so I kept that factory as I could. It's a 60/40 jump seat. I welded some brackets on the bottom, welded it to the factory sliders so the seat moves front to back still. It's some 1-inch box tubing that I have welded underneath to the factory sliders, and that runs all the way across the truck, and the seat can be unbolted with the 4 factory bolts still and pulled out if I have to. It still slides forward and back, but it fits great. I ended up painting the seat with some boat marine vinyl seat paint, and I just used some white stuff from, I believe I got it from West Marine. I got the spray paint from, but it was just all spray canned. I scuffed the seat up with some Scotch-Brite, wiped it down with some rubbing alcohol, and then just spray canned it. And there's some spots that are starting to come back through, some weather marks from, just from passengers, and my side's a little bit worse because I drive the truck, but it gives it character. When the seat was bright, stark white, when I first put it in here, it kind of looked a little strange, but after driving it and some of the paint cracking off, it looked really cool. I found some new overstock Ford Motorsport embroidered patches on eBay that I ended up using some fabric glue, and I glued them to the seat. But these are original 1970 Ford Motorsport patches. Not sure what they were used for by Ford, but it has the factory Ford blue color on it, the Ford navy blue. They just kind of fit perfect with the blue interior in the truck. And sorry about my crock, but all brand new carpet, all brand new floor pans, some new floor mats. I built the shifter handle for the truck. The shifter handle, the upper part, I ended up buying offline, another cheap piece. It was for like a late model car or some oval track race car. I ended up buying that, but I made the bracket from the aluminum shifter all the way down to the base, and I made this piece. I might have a picture I can link for you, but the shifter works great. It's got a nice shifter boot. It's got all buttons on it, so I can pull the shifter boot up and fix the short throw, do whatever I have to do to the shifter area, the transmission that's right under the floor. So that's cool. All the gauges, like I said, they're all Autometer Cobalt gauges. They light up blue, so everything matches. I just installed an AEM wideband so I can really dial the carburetor in. That was a huge, huge help. It's got a wood grain steering wheel in it. Everything's brushed. I tried to keep the theme of the truck inside with some brushed silver. So it's got brushed on the steering wheel. It's got brushed aluminum on the shifter, brushed aluminum gauge bezels, brushed aluminum piece up top, on top of the dash. I tried to keep the interior simple, but yet classy. It smells good inside. It doesn't have a crazy smell in it. I built the headliner in the truck. The truck, it's all built out of 040 aluminum. I ran it through my bead roller and put some dimple dies in it. The A-pillars in the truck that you see there running down the A-pillar, I make all those. Those are all listed on my website for sale. They come in a pair. You can buy them on the website. They're pretty cool, really nice. They just rivet in, two-way sticky tape and rivets. But that's really it for the interior. Underneath the front of the truck, there is a balance that I built. This is another thing that I sell online. This is a fully functional front splitter. It's made out of 040 aluminum. It bolts to the frame rails. It comes all the way down and across, and goes all the way across the truck. That splitter goes directly up underneath the truck. It mounts to the frame and directs airflow directly up into the radiator. So it comes off the splitter. It's a fully functional front splitter. I think it looks great. Fully functional front splitter for the radiator. But that's really it. If you have any questions or you have any comments, shoot them down below. I'll answer whatever I can. I'll answer to the best of my ability. I'll help whoever needs help. If you have any questions or you're trying to build one of these, you're more than welcome to shoot me a message. I will tag my Instagram account too. You can follow me on Instagram. I answer a bunch of people on Instagram, a bunch of people on Facebook. I'm new to the YouTube thing, like I said in the beginning. But if you need help with anything, I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook, and you're more than welcome to shoot me a message, and I'll try and help you the best I can. But yeah, that's it. That's my 71 F100 Casper. We'll take her for a ride and let you hear and see what she does. truck also has, these are odd hand DS08 wheels that are on the truck. They are 19 by 10.5 in the back, 19 by 9.5 in the front. They have a 295 rear tire and a 265 front tire. I get a lot of people that ask me about the wheels. It took me a while to figure out what wheels I wanted on the truck. I went back and forth with a couple of them. I had a set of black wheels that I wanted to put on it, but I just didn't know if the black would look right. These bronze centers, they almost identical paint match to a rust color, and I think they're just beautiful. I ceramic coat the wheels myself with some spray, some detail ceramic spray that I created, and I think they look killer. The stance is killer. The width of the tires are killer. Everything is nice and tight, no rubbing. All the fenders aren't trimmed or nothing. I massaged the inner wheel tubs on the inside the best I could to try and just keep everything factory looking and get it to fit. It took some massaging of the body to try and get it to fit the best I could. But I tried to straighten every body line out that I could. The bottom body lines down here, I wanted straight. I wanted the blue stripe line straight. I wanted everything as straight as I could, the fenders. So it took me a little bit to try and get everything lined up. This side of the truck's a little bit more patina than the other side. But the wheels look great, they fit great. The color, I think, goes perfect for what I'm looking for, what I was looking to do with the truck. The stripe on the truck, I actually just found out not too long ago. The truck came from North Carolina, and the only thing that I can come up with is North Carolina Tar Heels blue is what the previous owner painted on this truck. And it was painted like that back in the 70s. And when I first saw the truck with the white and the blue, it was just something that I couldn't pass up. I mean, the character in the blue is amazing. Amazing to me. I mean, I guess you gotta like patina trucks in order to like that stuff, but I don't know, with the primer coming through and the white coming through, it just looks amazing to me. So this truck, I had a ton of people that asked me, how is the truck shiny? When I first got this truck was not shiny at all. If you wiped your hand on the side of the truck, your whole palm of your hand would be white, chalky feeling. So I didn't really know what to do. So I took superfine steel wool and degreaser, a simple green, and I went over the entire truck with superfine steel wool and degreaser and cleaned the entire body up of the truck to try and get all that chalkiness feeling off the paint. And it worked great. It works beautiful. I do it on almost every vintage truck I own. I did it on my little brother's truck. I have a 91 F150 I did it on, and superfine steel wool and degreaser. Doesn't matter the degreaser, you can use Awesome, you can use Simple Green, you can use Purple Power, whatever you want to use. I did that over the whole truck, and this isn't a tag by any means, but it is true, and I'm not gonna lie. I sprayed the truck down with this ceramic detail spray. I created this detail spray probably a couple years ago, and I didn't release it for sale for a while just because I had to try it and make sure that it worked properly before people were spraying it on their vehicles. But I sell this online. It's amazing. It's $24.95 a bottle. It's 16 ounces. You can get it on my website, or you can pick it up at my shop if you want to swing over and see the truck. If you're local, you can pick up some bottles of it. But it is a ceramic detail spray, and I spray this all over the truck almost every time I drive the truck, just because I like the truck clean looking. I don't like road grime looking on it, as crazy as that sounds. Some people call me crazy because it's a patina truck and they don't really know why I'm spray waxing it or using ceramic spray on it, but I keep the truck completely clean as I can possibly get it. Every time I drive the truck, and I mean every time I drive the truck, I spray the ceramic detail spray on my wheels, and I clean the wheels up. I clean all the brake dust off from the previous drive. And when I go to re-wipe the truck the following day, say, like after I'm done driving it today, I'll put it back in the shop. And tomorrow, more than likely, I'll drive it because I drive it almost every day. I will spray the wheels down again with the detail spray and clean everything real nice. Clean the calipers, clean the brakes, clean the 4-link. I always clean the K-member up front. I just wipe everything down just to keep the road grime off because I want to try and keep it as nice as I possibly can. And I use that ceramic detail spray on everything on this truck. And I spray this truck down almost every time I drive it. And that has made the paint shiny again. I don't know. I've never buffed this truck. I have never wheeled this truck. I have never done anything. There's no chemicals that were put on this truck besides that detail spray. And it's a ceramic based, it's 15% ceramic in the spray. It's the highest concentrate of any ceramic you can get in a sprayable form, in a detail spray form on the current market. And like I said, this isn't a product tag of me to try and push that, but I have so many people ask me what I use on the paint. And the God's honest truth is I use my ceramic detail spray that I use, and I spray it on the truck, and it has seriously brought the paint back to life. Like, this is completely smooth and shiny. And besides the steel wool is what levels this all out. You'll hit this with steel wool and degreaser, and you'll level the paint out on the truck and level everything completely smooth with the steel wool and degreaser. But the ceramic detail spray has protected this paint like I have never seen. And this is really one of my first builds of a patina style truck. And I've had some nice vehicles in the past with some beautiful paint, and I've used my detail spray on it. And of course it looks great on new paint, but this is the first time I put it on a patina truck, and I haven't really pushed it to the community yet, the patina community of whatever you're driving. It doesn't have to be an F100, obviously. But what it did to the rust too, that's coming through the bed, all this is such a darker color. It's like a brown color. It's not a light rust color. Like the floor of the bed's like a lighter rust color. Over there is like a lighter rust color. I don't know how to explain it, but what it did to the rust coming through the bed on the top of the bed, it made it such a deeper color. It gave the primer a shine, like the shine in the top of the door. It's kind of hard to see unless you're in person, but basically what I'm saying is it made the rust a different color, and it kind of gave it its own character, its own finish. And a lot of people came up to me at the Grand National show in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee last month, and they asked me what I used on the rust because they loved the way the color of the rust is. And the only thing I used on this was that ceramic detail spray, and I keep spraying it on. Like I said, the truck probably gets wiped down 3-4 times a week on the exterior. So it does have some heavy coats, and that is a layerable product. The more you spray, the more it layers up on top of each other. So the truck is technically ceramic coated, and there's barely any paint left on the truck. You know, it's faded in certain spots and missing paint, but this is all ceramic coated. And I wish you guys could feel this with your hand of what it feels like, but it feels like you just, you know, clay barred and buffed your 2015, you know. But yeah, that's what I use. That's what I use on the outside of the truck. I spray it down. It's just a mist, wipe the whole truck down. I hit the wheels, I hit the motor, I spray the motor, I spray the valve covers, I spray the carburetor, I spray the radiator. I spray everything with it. It's such a universal spray, and the product is seriously amazing. And that's what I'd used on the outside of this truck. Basically, I use it on everything. I spray it on the dash. If I have a rag that I'm using, I spray it on the dash. The steering wheel is ceramic coated, as crazy as that sounds. All the gauges, all the lenses are ceramic coated on all the gauges. The dash is all ceramic coated on all the paintable surfaces. The door panels, the headliner, all of this aluminum is all ceramic coated. The glass, all the glass windows, I use it on the windshield. I don't run any windshield wipers on the truck. I just don't really like the way they look. I think it gives it such a cleaner look with no wiper. But I don't run wipers on the truck. I don't drive the truck in the rain. I hate driving the truck in the rain. But I do coat the windshield in that stuff every time I drive it. So another reason why I don't drive the truck in the rain is there's no wires in the engine bay. I kept every wire that comes down the factory inner fender on the driver's side and the factory inner fender on the passenger side. I took all those wires and I just notched the inner fenders in the back, and I ran the factory harnesses underneath the inner fender. And I got all stainless 7/16 bolts that hold all the harness in the truck, and it's all mounted up underneath the fender well. That's all my battery wires that come into the starter solenoid. They run down. They're all held up by rubber band clamps on all the inner fenders underneath. The alternator wire comes out of the inner fender, has a rubber grommet in the inner fender, and goes right to the one wire alternator. And same thing on this side. All the wiring is ran on the inner fender. The truck is on coilovers over here. All coilovers up front. And all the inner fender wires, instead of them being up top, are down low. So that's just another reason why I don't drive it in the rain either. I drive it every day. I try to drive it every day, but the rain I do not want to drive it in. So that's really it. I don't really know how to end this video, but I'm going to end talking for now, and then we will, I guess, tie back into me driving it and see if you like how I'm driving it.